Once upon a time, there was a poor boy named Jack who lived with his mother in a small cottage. They had very little money and only one cow, which was their only source of income. One day the cow stopped giving milk, and Jack's mother said, "We have no choice, Jack. You must take the cow to the market and sell her so we can buy food." Jack set off to the market, leading the cow behind him. On the way, he met a strange old man who offered Jack 5 magic beans in exchange for the cow. The old man promised, "These beans will grow into something amazing." Jack, curious and hopeful, decided to trade the cow for the beans. When Jack returned home and showed his mother the beans, she was furious. "You foolish boy," she cried. "You traded our cow for 5 useless beans." In her anger, she threw the beans out the window and sent Jack to bed without supper. The next morning, Jack awoke to find a gigantic beanstalk growing outside his window. It stretched high into the sky, disappearing into the clouds. Jack, filled with curiosity, decided to climb the beanstalk to see what was at the top. He climbed and climbed, higher and higher, until he reached the very top. There, he found a magnificent castle. Jack cautiously approached the castle and was greeted by a giant woman. "You must leave quickly," she warned him. "My husband is a giant, and he eats little boys like you." But Jack was too curious to leave. He asked the giant woman for something to eat, and she gave him some bread and milk. As Jack was eating, the ground began to shake, and he heard a loud voice bellowing, "Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive, or be he dead? I'll grind his bones to make my bread." The giant had returned. The giant woman hid Jack in the oven just as her husband, the giant, stomped into the room. The giant sat down and counted his gold coins, which he kept in a large sack. After counting, the giant grew tired and fell asleep. Seeing his chance, Jack crept out of the oven, grabbed a bag of gold, and hurried back down the beanstalk. Jack and his mother were overjoyed with the gold, but eventually the money ran out. Jack decided to climb the beanstalk again. This time he saw the giant's wife and asked for food once more. Just like before, the giant returned, chanting his terrible rhyme, and Jack hid in the oven. The giant brought out a hen that laid golden eggs. As soon as the giant fell asleep, Jack snatched the hen and quickly climbed down the beanstalk. The hen laid golden eggs, and Jack and his mother lived comfortably for a while. But Jack's curiosity got the better of him, and he decided to climb the beanstalk one last time. When he reached the top, Jack asked the giant's wife for food, and again the giant returned. This time, the giant brought out a magical harp that could play beautiful music all by itself. As the giant dozed off, Jack grabbed the harp and started to sneak away. But the harp suddenly cried out, "Master!" Master, the giant woke up and saw Jack with the harp. Enraged, he chased Jack to the beanstalk. Jack scrambled down the beanstalk as fast as he could, with the giant following close behind. As soon as Jack reached the bottom, he called out, "Mother!" "Bring me an axe." His mother hurried to him, and Jack chopped down the beanstalk with all his might. The beanstalk began to wobble, and then, with a mighty crash, it fell, sending the giant tumbling down to the ground, where he was killed. Jack and his mother were safe at last. With the golden eggs from the hen and the beautiful music of the harp, they lived happily ever after, never wanting for anything again. And that's the story of Jack and the Beanstalk.